Welcome to the captivating world of Rose the Detective, where enigmas are unraveled and mysteries are solved with a touch of elegance and intellect. I'm Rose, your guide through the labyrinth of secrets, and together we'll embark on thrilling adventures to uncover the truth.
The mysterious disappearance of the Sodder children, a timeless mystery. Please check it. On Christmas Eve of 1945, the Sodder family's home burned to the ground. 5 children were presumed to be inside at the time, but their bodies were never found. Despite a lengthy investigation and numerous theories, the case remains unsolved to this day. Join us as we delve into the mystery of the missing Sodder children. Let's start our investigation. Welcome to our video on the mysterious disappearance of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve of 1945, the Sodder family's home burned to the ground. While 5 of their children were presumed to be inside, their bodies were never found. This case has baffled investigators and captivated the public for over 7 decades. Let's explore the details of this unsolved mystery. The Sodder family consisted of George and Jenny Sodder and their 10 children. On Christmas Eve of 1945, the family settled in for the night after a day of festivities. Around 1 a.m., the phone rang and Jenny answered it. An unfamiliar woman asked to speak to a name Jenny didn't know, and then laughed before hanging up. Jenny noticed that the lights on the Christmas tree were still on, so she decided to check on her children before going back to bed. What she found instead sent her into a panic. The house was on fire and smoke was filling the room. She quickly woke up George, and together they gathered 4 of their children and escaped the burning house. They tried to go back for the other 5 children, but the fire was too intense and they were forced to flee. Once outside, the couple realized that the other 5 children were still inside the burning house. They tried to call for help, but all the phone lines were dead. They tried to drive to the neighbors or nearby town to find help, but their car refused to start. Finally, they went to a neighbor's house where they called the fire department. When the fire department arrived, they discovered that their equipment was not working properly. It wasn't until 8 a.m. the next morning that the remains of the fire were finally extinguished. When the Sodders could finally examine the ruins of their home, they found no sign of their 5 missing children. An extensive investigation began immediately. The authorities found no evidence of the children's remains in the ashes. Fire investigators thought that the fire started because of faulty wiring, but George Sodder disagreed. He believed that the fire had been intentionally set, and that his children had been kidnapped. In the weeks following the fire, the Sodders received several leads. A woman in Florida claimed to have seen the children in a car passing by shortly after the fire. A bus driver in a nearby city reported seeing them as well. Another woman claimed that she saw the children months later in a photograph in a magazine. However, none of these leads could be confirmed, and the children were never found. The Sodders continued their own investigation over the years, even hiring their own private investigators. One compelling piece of evidence was found in 1968, over 20 years after the fire. A man who was looking through the wreckage found what appeared to be human vertebrae. The Sodders had the bones analyzed, and it was confirmed that they belonged to a young child. However, the discovery of these bones raised more questions than it answered. If the bones belonged to one of the missing Sodder children, why weren't any other remains found in the ashes? And why did it take over 20 years to find them? Many theories have been proposed to explain the Sodder children's disappearance. Some believe that the fire was indeed set intentionally, either by a business rival or someone who held a grudge against the family. Others think that the children were kidnapped and taken far away, possibly to start a new life in another country. There have also been claims that the children were intentionally killed and buried somewhere else. Some people believe that the mafia was involved, as George Sodder was known to be vocal about his anti-Mussolini views. This was during World War II, when Italy was allied with Germany. The disappearance of the Sodder children remains a haunting mystery to this day. Despite numerous investigations and credible leads, the fate of these 5 children remains unknown. Was it a tragic accident, or was it something more sinister? Perhaps the answers will never be found. But the tenacity and determination of the Sodder family in their search for the truth is a testament to the power of love and the human spirit. Thank you for watching this video on the mysterious disappearance of the Sodder children.